There's been a church on these grounds since the 1730s. Churches on this hill have had a lot of damage across the centuries. This one was no exception. The Federal-style building was here in the 1820s. The Falmouth Union Church website says that it was occupied by the Union troops starting in 1862. That squares with John Washington's drawing. It looks like all the high ground up here was used as a Union camp. Somewhere in this cemetery is where John Washington watched the burial of 7 cavalry troops killed in the taking of Falmouth. He wrote about that. Here it is. We were all astir very early
the next morning, for the soldiers had a sad duty to perform. The night before they captured Falmouth, they, while advancing suddenly in the darkness, found the road barricaded. The rebels concealed close by fired upon the advancing troops, where the road was cut through a hill, and killed 7 and wounded several. The funeral was one of the most solemn and impressive I had ever witnessed in my life before. The cavalry company was dismounted and drawn up in line around the 7 new graves, which had been dug side by side, and amidst grand old tombs and vaults, surrounded by noble cedars, through which the April wind seemed to moan low dirges. There they was now about to deposit the remains of what the rebels used to term the low-born Yankee. Those 7 coffins were lowered to their final resting place, and amidst the sound of the earth falling into those new-made graves, the band of Harris Light Cavalry broke forth in dear old plail hymn. And when those graves were finished, there was scarcely a dry eye present, and with heavy hearts their company left that little burying ground, some swearing to avenge their deaths.
So, John, you learned early on that freedom isn't free. Isn't it so, Dad? Mom told me how you got beat up in the civil rights struggles during the 60s. Isn't it so, my departed little brother? We were so proud of you when you joined the Army. We always thought that you would make it back home.